Welcome to Sexy Mom Abundant Life with best-selling author and coach Kathy Williams, a show to help you tap into the support of the universe and access the abundance that's available in every area of your life. Listen in for conversations and tools to create more ease, joy, and possibility with family, relationships, business, and living. Kathy's joyful perspective will help you tap into your own wisdom and create a life of presence and abundance your way. Listen live on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, or anytime on iTunes or at IOM-FM.
Welcome to Sexy Mom Abundant Life, everyone. This is Kathy Williams, and today's conversation is a really fun one. I love talking about energy, and we're going to talk about the chakras today, practical chakra magic. And before we dive in, I love to hear from you. I love to hear your suggestions for shows and your questions and all of that. And you can find me at meetkathywilliams.com and submit a form there with your questions or show ideas. That way we make the show really relevant to you, because I like to do that, and also because then I don't have to come up with the topics. They're relevant to you and, something kind of unique and fun. So today is Chakra Magic, and chakras are something that I've played with for many, many, many years, having studied pranic healing, which is kind of like Reiki, but very much chakra-oriented. That when I was in my early 20s, like 22 or something like that. And then over the years, going to chakra retreats in India and sitting in the middle of, honestly, in the middle of nowhere. I've forgotten if it was 3 hours outside of Chennai or 5 hours outside of Chennai, but just South India, taking a taxi to the middle of nowhere and doing chakra retreats. And I did that, I think, 4 times. The first time I went, it was 5 days that I was there in silence, and learning these different methods of working with energy and meditation. And then I figured, oh my gosh, 5 days is okay for me. I didn't die. I didn't combust. It worked out. So the next day I went for the longer retreat, which is essentially 2 of those retreats together. So it was like 9 days, because the last day is a half day. So pretty amazing, profound experiences sitting and working on your own chakras, not on somebody else's. So I'm going to talk today about some practices that you can do to work on yourself. It's awesome to have someone else work on you, and very effective too. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, having our own tools that we can use to create balance and harmony in our own system is pretty amazing. So I'll talk about some of the techniques that we used in those retreats. I can't tell you everything. Some of it is actually kind of secret. And then I'll talk a little bit about some other really interesting, fun experiences I've had through taking a course called Advanced Consciousness-Based Healing. And I took it a couple of times because it was that profound for me. In addition to that, we'll talk about the sounds. Let's just start with an overview of the chakras. I mean, some people say you have 7 chakras. Some people say you have 10. Honestly, the chakras are kind of where energies converge in your body. So according to yogic anatomy, we have 3 different channels of energy that go through the spine. The one that goes through the center is called the Sushumna Nadi, or channel, kind of like we could liken those to acupuncture meridians. Then we have the Ida, which is like the cooling channel, which starts on the on the left side. And we have the Pingala, which is the heating, right? So we have the cooling and the heating, creating that balance. And those cross at specific areas, which would be the chakra points, right? Wherever the Ida and the Pingala cross the Sushumna, kind of in, what is that called? That kind of, oh goodness, helix, is that it? Kind of a helix shape, you know, where you're crossing and back and forth. Those are the chakra points. And so we have the origin, like the first spot, which is the root. And then in the low belly, we have the second chakra, the Svadhisthana. And then the third chakra would be like just above the navel. Some people say at the navel. We're all proportioned differently anyway. And that would be the Manipura, which is the third, or city of gems, which is so cool. And then the fourth is called the Anahata, unstruck sound. Just get a sense of that, right? The heart chakra, unstruck sound, or Anahata. And the fourth is Vishuddha, pure, and that is at the throat. And then the fifth is fourth is the heart, fifth is the throat. Then the sixth is the third eye, the Agnya. Some people say Ajna. That is how it's written. That's not how you really would say it, but that's okay. And then the seventh is considered the 1,000-petaled lotus, the Sahasrara, at the crown of the head. So I did most of the Sanskrit names. I guess I missed the root, which is the Muladhara, is the name of the root, like Mula, Dhara, like the seat, and Mula meaning like root. So each of those points, you know, and the 1,000-petaled lotus, like on the crown of the head. So each of those points is pretty profound to work with. And in fact, last month I was thinking to myself, every person I know who's like I personally know, not that I know of, but that I personally know, who is enlightened, suggests working with your chakras. So then, looking at all these people, maybe that's a good idea. And one of the ways that many of them suggest doing it is with breath, using prana, or energy, that rides the breath to clear out that chakra. You know, I mean, we can do other things, right? We can use the palm of our hand, and I'll talk about doing that. We can use the energy of sound, which is very potent, and I'll talk about that over the course of the show. The first thing I'd really kind of like to zoom in on is using the breath. And I'm going to, because I mentioned it also in the meditation show, alternate nostril breathing. So I'll make an extra little YouTube video on alternate nostril breathing, which is a very profoundly balancing practice. Why? Well, if you think of that Ida nadi, which is the lunar or cooling channel, and then the Pingala, the heating channel, alternate nostril breathing balances those through the use of the two nostrils. So essentially you do it, I'll talk about it, and then I'll make a little video where you can watch it, is you close off the right nostril and inhale through the left, and then close the left, exhale through the right. You inhale then through the right, and exhale, closing the right again, and exhaling through the left. Okay, so that would be considered one round. Now, this is such a valued practice that in India, we would start every meditation by doing 5 rounds, of alternate nostril breathing. And then as we learned to work with the chakras, we would also start to do alternate nostril breathing while focusing on each chakra. So you'd spend, let's just say, 2 minutes at the root with your attention down there with your alternate nostril breathing. So just imagine that you're kind of fanning the fires of, oh, well, that wasn't a good term, fires, because of the heating energy and of the cooling energy, and kind of like wringing those out and sending energy down to the root, okay? And then moving up to the second and doing some alternate nostril breathing like that. Now, we would do that before meditating to kind of circulate the prana or chi in those areas and then meditate. And the cool thing about doing pranayama like that, breathing technique, is it really does still your mind so that you can focus for meditation. If you don't like alternate nostril breathing, or if you have some stuffiness, even if you just prefer this technique, another technique that I learned that I've found to be really useful is to zero in on the chakra and imagine that it sort of has doorways to the front, to the sides, and to the back, right? Even if it is circular, imagine doorways in each of those directions. Now, you could, just using your breath and using your attention, imagine that you're breathing in the doorway in front, and then exhale out the front again. Inhaling and exhaling out the front. So you receive the inhale through the front of that chakra, and then you exhale it back out. Of course, you're receiving the inhale through your nose, but with your awareness, you're just imagining it coming in like a wave of the ocean and then going out like that. And this is useful for several reasons. It's useful, again, to kind of energize and clear that chakra. It's also useful because when you're doing that, you're also kind of assessing, does this chakra feel free and open? Does it feel a little cluttered or even stuck, congested? What's it feel like? All right? So let's actually do that. So take a moment to just imagine you're inhaling through the front of your root chakra at the tailbone area, and then exhaling out the front. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Okay? And you do that on your own time. Then through let's just choose the left side, receiving the energy in through the left side, all the way to the tailbone, and exhale out. Receiving it in, and exhaling out. And again. And then let's go to the right, receiving it in. And exhaling out. And inhaling. And get any sense of differentiation. How is this different from the other side? You're receiving on inhale and releasing on exhale. Okay, in and out. And then let's explore the back. How is this similar? How is it different? Inhaling, again, in toward the center of the chakra, and then exhaling out the back. exhaling out. Going at your own pace. And you can do this with each of the chakras. And sometimes it helps us identify, oh, goodness, there feels like some congestion. Let me see if there are any cords in this chakra. And I did a radio show about cords earlier in, I guess it was in 2019. So you can look for that show. Also at meetkathywilliams.com, there's a whole class with some different bonus recordings of clearing cord exercises. But when people are corded into those chakras, they're actually either feeding you energy or draining your energy. Okay? So that's definitely something useful to be aware of in regard to relationships and in regard to chakras. Because you don't want something extraneous, draining your energy or even feeding energy into that chakra. That chakra is a fully functioning thing without that. Unless for the root, unless it's your young children, then it's okay for you to be feeding them energy. So when we're going to go to break in just a moment, and as we go to break, maybe you'd like to just play with, okay, so now how is the second chakra different from the root? What's the quality of it as I do this breathing exercise, either alternate nostril breathing or breathing in through the front and out through the front, just in the low belly. See how that's different. And then the upper belly and, front, sides, and back. And that can actually give you a lot of information. This one feels really active, or this one feels kind of sluggish. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for listening to Sexy Mom Abundant Life.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers, pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Would you like to have a life of more clarity and abundance? What's possible for you when you get out of your own way? Connect with Kathy Williams for private coaching or join her online to transform your relationship with abundance in every area of your life with the Radical Abundance course. Kathy also travels, facilitating radical abundance and access consciousness bars and foundation around the world. She'll be in London, Hawaii, Hilton Head, and other fun locations soon. Visit www.meetkathywilliams.com for a class schedule, to connect with Kathy, or invite her to your region and get some free goodies.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Sexy Mom Abundant Life, everyone. This is Kathy Williams, and today we're having a conversation about chakras and specific practical magic for creating more balance, harmony, and flow in those chakras. And this is something I've been working with for a long, long time in my own life and also with others. And I mentioned a little bit about that in the beginning of the show, where I said, like, since I was in my early 20s, I was, doing pranic healing, where there, in that technique, there are recipes sort of how to work with different conditions. And that involves like moving your hand around a chakra. And each of our hands has chakras, right? I talked about where the chakras are places of convergences of energies, right? So we have our primary chakras, of which, many systems say there are 7. Some systems say there are 5 or even 10 chakras above your head and stuff like that, way up above your head. The hands, and the chakras both have like electromagnetic energy. And so that's why waving your hand around a chakra, maybe you can practice on yourself in a counterclockwise motion. That is said to take and help energies come out of the chakra, like cleaning, releasing. You can practice on yourself. And then going in a clockwise motion to kind of energize it up and then seal it in so that it's feeling really good. So that is one simple way of working with chakras that's used by Donna Eden, who, if you haven't seen Donna's work, Donna's amazing in terms of like the nervous system and healing all sorts of things that people think are unhealable. I believe she herself healed herself of what is it called? Shoot, I can't even think of it now. An autoimmune disorder. So definitely cool work. She has the book Energy Medicine, and I've taken several of her courses. And she's just a vivacious, beautiful individual too. So that's one of the ways you can work with your own chakras, sort of like, oh, it feels like this one requires balancing today. And then you just move your hand around it in a counterclockwise way to kind of clear it out, and then in a clockwise way to sort of energize it and feel it in. So working, you can also do that on others, right? On yourself. And so that's one of the ways I've used. And then we talked a little bit about the use of the breath, alternate nostril breathing, and the breathing in through the front of the chakra and out through that chakra, in and out in that way, and then through the sides and then through the back. And one of the things I just wanted to mention, we haven't gotten too much into each chakra or anything like that. Each chakra influences the organs, the muscles and tissue, the veins, all the other body parts within its energy field. So let's say you're looking at, oh, I have hemorrhoids or something. Your first chakra may be calling your attention, right? Oh, I have constipation issues. Same thing. Let's check out the first. How grounded am I in my life? Like, how stable am I really feeling? And, in the work that I've done, often the teachers will say the first chakra is the primary chakra to work with. And if you think about it, if a plant has good, strong roots, the plant can grow tall and it can fruit and flower. If the plant has lousy roots, the whole plant is impacted. So if you have a stable root and feel at home on planet Earth, everything else can build from there. But if you have that shaky root, then that's going to impact your finances, your sense of personal power, empowerment, confidence, right? Your ability to express love, to express in general. Like all of that is impacted if your root is not really solid. Okay? So the way we did the breathing every day in chakra retreats was we would always start at the root and just keep going up. And even if you didn't get all the way up to the throat, that's okay, right? Just breathe into each chakra all the way up. Someday you'll get to the throat because the others will be pretty clear and you won't spend as much time there, right? Like that. So just a little bit about, not only do they impact the areas of the body, also the endocrine system, like glands, and your moods, your personality. All of these are your level of vitality. Each of these is impacted by the functioning of your chakras. So there are lots of reasons to work with them and to make sure they're functioning really well, right? So the first chakra is that stability, is that sense of being at home on planet Earth. Some people talk about, is that sense that you belong in a tribe. Then we go to the second chakra, right, the lower belly area. That I love what what Paul Douglas summed it up as. He said it's flow. So flow of emotion, flow of finances, flow of sexual energy. It's flow. Are you flowing in your life? And, if we look at the symbolism of each chakra or the element, the first is, the root is earth. Okay? That's stability. The second is water, flow. And as we move up, the third is fire, right? That fire of confidence, of personal empowerment. So if you don't have confidence in yourself or a sense of self, really, then you may like to look at, let me work with the third chakra. I'm going to really work with that and breathe into it or make the sound. You can make the sound all day long. We're not there yet, but we will get there. And really focus on that. Like even asking, what does this chakra require? What does it need? And tap into that. Sometimes even just putting a hand on it there, wherever it is. If you would like to take more energy and attention, like you feel like that chakra actually needs a boost, you may want to put your dominant hand there. If you think, that chakra requires soothing, then more of your non-dominant hand, right? That non-dominant is going to be more soothing. Yeah, I'd like more of a sense of confidence or more of a sense of flow. And put your hand on that chakra and be with it for a minute. Is there anything else I can do for you? So it's like you're being its friend and you're talking to it. What's required here? So second, flow. Third, the element is fire, and it's about empowerment, personal power. And the fourth, loving energy, kindness. That's the heart area. Makes sense. The fifth again, wait, sorry, I didn't say the element. So we went from earth to water to fire, and for the anahata, or fourth chakra, it would be air, which also makes sense because that's where your lungs are, air. Mm-hmm. And then the fifth is the throat, and expression, and the element would be space. So earth, water, fire, air, and space. Mm-hmm. And so expression, right? Do you communicate effectively? Do you talk too little? Do you talk too much? So we have these polarities of like, that person talks a lot, blah, blah, blah. Or I never speak what's true for me. Then you may want to energize that throat chakra. If you talk too much, you may want to calm that throat chakra just with your non-dominant hand. Or the breathing really just creates balance, especially if you take more time. And let's say we talked earlier about like breathing from the front and the sides and back. Let's say my left side of my throat feels a little bit more congested. And I could say, oh yeah, I really haven't been speaking what I need to say. I've been holding it in. And so I could spend some more time breathing there. And I could ask on the left side, in to the center and out. And I could say, okay, what's really required here? Oh, what's really required is that I make an email and send it. That's the hard part, pressing the send button, right? Or what's really required is I tell my friend, no, this is not working for me. I'm sorry, I thought it would, but it's not. And so let's look at it again and restructure, right? So the sides of the throat really do also impact, too much speech, too little speech. And you usually know if you're talking too little and holding it in. All right, and then the third eye, Agnya, is in the forehead and in the head, and it has to do with insight, comprehension, not blocking your ability to see. A lot of us in our lives, even in our childhood, have made a commitment to not see because we knew someone didn't want us to, right? Oh, mom doesn't want me to see that. Okay, I won't, okay? So we can definitely clear contracts and agreements to not seeing so that we can fully open that up to know what it's possible for us to know, okay? And with the ones in the head, you can do the alternate nostril breathing and you can do the other breathing. I don't breathe so much with the crown, but you can. And the crown is connection with all that is, oneness, that enlightenment experience. So, and here's the thing, a lot of people think there's a hierarchy, like the top ones are more spiritual and elevated, and the lower ones are base and just like sort of, they're lesser. And that's not true. All of them are spiritual, right? As I mentioned, if you don't have good roots, how are you going to have beautiful flowers? Just not going to be quite the same. So, working on the ones that are more dysfunctional for you, and by dysfunctional, I mean like not balanced and representing, illness or challenge in your life. Like I'm feeling stingy. That would be a heart chakra thing, usually. Okay? I'm not communicating. Okay? Oh, I'm not feeling like I can do it. So that might be a third chakra. I'm not feeling like I can. I'm a little bit, inhibited. that could be a third or second. And the thing is, you just ask, which chakra is this related to? You know, what would be useful to work on here? So we're going to, in a few minutes, do some chakra sounds. And before we do, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the technique called rhythm. And I found it to be one of the more powerful techniques I've used. And if you've been to a Deepak Chopra program where they have like a longer retreat, you find that they use rhythm. And the way that I love Deepak's explanation of this is like, it's like dropping a pebble into a pond. So it's like dropping a word or a quality or an energy into the chakra and then allowing that to just sort of cascade out or ripple out. And I use rhythm a lot in the Radical Abundance course because I've found it to be so profound. And I'm going to be doing a special course where people can receive rhythm starting in the middle of January, starting January 21st. So it's effective when you do it on yourself. So like dropping a ball of light into the first chakra and then just bringing your attention back to the heart and just letting that ball of light do its work. And then doing that again after 20 seconds or so. And there are lots of different ways of doing it, not just with a ball of light, but with a word, and really profound. I mean, I've had one of the most blissful weeks of my life when about a dozen people were working on me, on my second chakra, just doing rhythm for 5 minutes a day. So it's done in pretty much 20-second increments, and we'll talk more about it when we get back from the break. Okay? Powerful practice. Thanks for listening to Sexy Mom Abundant Life. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes on IOM.FM, YouTube, SoundCloud, all the places.
The future of Internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Would you like to have a life of more clarity and abundance? What's possible for you when you get out of your own way? Connect with Kathy Williams for private coaching or join her online to transform your relationship with abundance in every area of your life with the Radical Abundance course. Kathy also travels, facilitating radical abundance and access consciousness bars and foundation around the world. She'll be in London, Hawaii, Hilton Head, and other fun locations soon. Visit www.meetkathywilliams.com for a class schedule, to connect with Kathy, or invite her to your region and get some free goodies.
More than 24 million Americans have an autoimmune disorder, and that number continues to grow. I'm Sharon Saylor, and I'm one of those 24 million. To put that number in perspective, cancer affects about 9 million and heart disease up to 22 million. That's why I've brought together top experts and those thriving regardless of their diagnosis to bring you the latest, most up-to-date information. Join me, Sharon Saylor, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the Autoimmune Hour on Life Interrupted Radio to find out how to live your life uninterrupted.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Sexy Mom Abundant Life. This is Kathy Williams, and today we're talking about chakras. One of my favorite topics because it's so interesting how we can impact our entire life by, focusing in on changing something in our own energy field. And before we went to break, I talked a little bit about rhythm, which is a very subtle energy technique of dropping some energy into a chakra. And that might be a very subtle sound, or that might be a ball of light, or that might be a word. And like I said, about 12 people worked on my second chakra 1 week. And it was one of the most blissful weeks of my life. And I have to say, not much in the external world was different. Like, people weren't nicer, or like I wasn't on a special vacation or anything. It was still my everyday life, but there was a profoundly juicy, delightful radiance to everything due to that technique. So I might guide you through a little meditation that involves it later. But in January, I'm offering a program in which I do rhythm for you every day. And I've, for some reason, one woman asked me in the fall to do this for her. So we've been doing it since the 1st of October. And it's been really interesting because each day I choose a chakra. I just scan her energy and choose a chakra to work with. And it's so fun when she's like, I knew it was going to be the throat today. I was having these experiences. Or I needed that third chakra energy today. Or, oh, wow, you were doing this at like 12:30. I could feel it. Or whatever it is. And we've just chosen to keep going because it's so delicious for both of us. So that will be going on and available to everyone starting on January 21st. And I'm not sure it's up on the website yet. You can reach out to me at meetkathywilliams.com and let me know if you're interested in being one of the people. It's just open to a handful of people because, of course, I'm working on each person individually. But it's been really profound for the woman I'm working on, and it was such a fun experience for me, too, that I've decided to open it up to some people, more people. So I mentioned that sounds are very powerful for working with chakras, both in the form of rhythm and also when we voice them and vocalize them. And so each chakra has its own sound. And of course, you don't have to rely on a specific sound that I'm going to talk about. You can just ask your own chakra, like, what kind of tone are you needing today? And if it's like, you can do that, right? So be intuitive about it. This is not like formulaic. But the chakras are said to have some specific sounds that they vibrate to. And so the first sound of the root chakra is lum, like L-A-M, lum. Okay, not lam, lum. And so let's just, for a few minutes, just play with that and see what that's like for you. Lum, 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 lum. Lum, 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 lum. And, I used to go to Ayurvedic school at the Wise Earth School of Ayurveda in North Carolina with Mother Maya, or Maya Tiwari, as she's known. And we would sit every morning and we would do these sounds and then repeat them, So we'll go through each of them, and then we would repeat them all together. So, and then the next one is VAM, V-A-M, lower belly, VAM, 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 and then RUM, R-A-M. And I've read somewhere that when you do RUM and you think you're hungry, but you're not really, and you just repeat that a bunch of times, that quote hunger that really wasn't will go away. Okay, so focusing on the navel, upper belly. Rum, 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 rum. And then heart area, Y-A-M, yum, 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 yum. And then hum for the throat, H-A-M, hum, 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 hum. And then Om at the third eye. Om, 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 Om. Just get a sense of the vibrations that are sort of lingering within your body and beyond your body. And these are considered bija sounds or seed sounds that awaken the chakras. And you may notice later in the day or, as you practice these, that, a certain sound, you keep going back to one. And then, that's the sound of the second chakra. Okay, cool. You could do them all at once, like Om, Hum, Yum, Rum, Bum, Lum. Om, Hum, Yum, Rum, Bum, Lum. Om, Hum, Yum, Rum, Bum, Lum, like that. Or just choose one to go with, or just repeat like we did earlier. Each of them, but doing each of them several times. And the chakras are vibrations, right? Energy vibrations. And so we're vibrating them. We're doing vibrational medicine, essentially, both when we're doing the breathing and also when we're doing the sounds and the rhythm as well. So I did not a very high pitch, but not a very low pitch, and also didn't vary the loudness, right? So if you'd like to carry a sound into meditation, then you might do it like this. Lum, 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 lum. And then until it's very still and quiet, and you're just focusing on that sound and focusing in the root. And then when you're kind of ready to come out of the meditation, you could get louder. Lum, 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 lum. And then if you need some energy, do it really loud. Like using that vibrational medicine to help you either go inward or to help you, energize and wake up. So again, a very profound practice. And I thought that we'll just do a little energetic journey through the chakras. Now, what I'd like you to do even beforehand is I'm just going to kind of infuse it all and do it all together. I was going to have you do something with light, but we'll play with it within the meditation. So if you have a space to, soften your body and get really quiet, go ahead and do that and close your eyes. If you're not in that space right now, then you can integrate this into your day. It's a little different to go inward and be quiet with it, but do what you can, right? So go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to draw our energy down to the tailbone and get a sense of the tailbone right now. Okay? How is it? Now invite in a color of energy, like a ball of light. If you use white, then that chakra will just take whatever frequencies it likes. But if you're drawn to a certain color, bring that in. Kind of drop it into the chakra and let it go, watching it ripple out. Okay. And now we're going to drop a word in. The word stability. And just allow that to ripple out in every direction. And bring your attention back to the heart. Okay. We could spend longer here. For now, we're going to bring our attention to the second chakra. Whatever color ball of light you are inspired to bring in, drop that into the chakra. And then watch it ripple out as you return your attention to the heart. And dropping in the word bliss. Bliss. Watching that ripple out, getting a sense of the quality of bliss. Return your attention to the heart. Moving your awareness to above the navel. Whatever color light you're inspired to bring in to nourish the third chakra, drop that in. Watch it ripple out. And return your attention to the heart. Okay, and now drop in the word empowered. And return your attention to the heart. And now, dropping a ball of light of any color into the center of the chest, allowing it to ripple out. And then the word radiance. Radiance. Now up to the the throat. Okay. Drawing in a ball of light into the throat. Watching it ripple out. Returning your attention to the chest. And now dropping in the word truth. And returning your attention to the chest. Bringing your awareness to the center of your head, third eye, the forehead. Dropping in a ball of light, watching it ripple out. And the word insight. And dropping your awareness into the heart. And finally, to the crown of the head, bringing a ball of light, allowing that to radiate out. And the word oneness. And dropping your attention into the heart. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Sexy Mom Abundant Life. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'd love to hear from you at meetkathywilliams.com. There you can also sign up to hear about everything that's next and get a free Create Your Life exercise. And I'll be back here next Thursday. Can't wait that long. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, and all the places. Thanks so much, everybody.